Hey guys, it's Nick, and I'm back now. I was on a little hiatus, but before we begin, please remember to like, and if you're new, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. And the reason I've been off YouTube for a while is because I've been writing blogs, and I'll put a link in the description to my two recent blogs. If you could please check them out, I would really appreciate that because I worked really hard on them. And also, these videos take a long time to edit, so if you could please show your support, I would really appreciate that. But now that we got that out of the way, just some things to talk about. Now, this is a happy video, but there's also some things I'm not very happy with right now. Like, can the Yankees just please re-sign DJ LeMahieu already? Please. And also, with the USC video, with the USC and the Giants in that video, I went 0 for 2. I guess that's a risk I take by making these videos anyways. And now James Bradberry is out tomorrow because he has COVID-19. Okay, done venting. Got happy stuff to talk about now, so play the intro. So now it has been a while since I've done a full in-depth baseball video, and I'm back at it now, and I thought that now would be a good time. Just this offseason hasn't been like what it was last offseason or the offseason before with Garrett Cole to the Yankees, Mookie Betts to the Dodgers, or Manny Machado to the Padres, or Bryce Harper to the Phillies. Nothing like that has happened, so it hasn't really been much of an opportunity for me, especially while I've been busy with other things. But in case you haven't gotten the news, this happened a few days ago. As much as Rob Manfred has done a lot of bad lately, like from the mishandling of the Astros cheating scandal, not holding players accountable enough for COVID precautions, when it came to how we're going to start the 2020 season, and recently getting rid of the universal DH, which I'm totally on board with Giraffe Neck Mark on. I'm definitely all for the universal DH, and I'm a Yankees fan. I root for an American League team, and I'm definitely for the universal DH, who actually pays to see pitchers hit, and there's too much of a risk for injury, so yeah, you should have kept the universal DH. But again, I'm here to make a happy video, not a vent video. And yeah, just a lot of things that Rob Manfred has done that's been very questionable. But for once, he's actually doing something really good. He's actually ending 2020 on a high note. So with the screenshot I just showed you, yeah, this is absolutely very overdue, something that I really wish happened sooner, but it's better late than never. Now, I'm going to go in depth with some of these guys, but I'm not going to go in depth with everybody because I don't want to make this too long, but I'm going to start with Satchel Paige. Now imagine if Satchel Paige got to pitch in the major leagues when he was young, because he came into the major leagues when he was 41 years old, and he posted a 2.48 ERA when he was 41 years old. And yes, I know ERA is not a conclusive stat. I plan to make a video on that pretty soon, but I still wouldn't devalue it that much. A 2.48 ERA at any age is still nasty, especially in your 40s. Now, I got this from Fuzzy. I just want to say that now, and I haven't read the book that he mentioned, but I will get into it. And the book is called Satchel and Me. And according to the book, Satchel Paige once told his entire team other than his catcher, go to the dugout, I got this. And he ended up striking out the side. That's a bold move, isn't it? Like, imagine even the top pitchers right now, like Garrett Cole or Jacob deGrom or Shane Bieber, like if any of those guys were to do that now, it's like Babe Ruth calling his shot, right? Like, imagine he did that and he swung and missed. Or imagine if Satchel Paige did what he did and then somebody hit an inside the park home run. It's crazy, right? That he was actually that confident in his ability. Now, before I move on, there is one more thing about Satchel Paige I have to mention. September 25th, 1965, he became the oldest pitcher to ever appear in a major league game. He actually made a comeback at the age of 59, and he actually pitched 3 shutout innings. A famous quote from him, age is a question of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. And he was definitely true to his word when he made that comeback. Like, it was only for one game, but still, at 59 years old, he pitched 3 shutout innings in a major league game. Or actually, I would say he lived by those words throughout his major league career, considering he made his debut at 41, had a damn good season at 41. He also pitched really well at 42 as well, and was able to make a comeback at 59 and pitch 3 shutout innings. Now I'm about to talk about some hitters. Now, I'm all for analytics, I'm all for sabermetrics and all, but they're not available for these guys, at least not that I'm aware of, so I'm just going to go with traditional stats. Like, yes, I know batting average is not an end-all be-all stat. In fact, it's kind of outdated. I've said it before, I'll say it again, but there's no WRC plus or anything like that for these guys, so I just got to go with what's available. And hey, even if batting average is an outdated stat, what these guys posted is absolutely insane, and yeah, that's what I'm going to get into right now. So I'm going to start with Josh Gibson. Now imagine if Josh Gibson, who was a career 359 hitter, got to play in the major leagues. His lifetime batting average is actually higher than Babe Ruth and Ted Williams. And he's actually been dubbed as the Black Babe Ruth, except he's a lot better defensively. And Cleveland Buckeyes manager Alonzo Boone has said that he's a better power hitter than Babe Ruth or Ted Williams or anybody he's ever seen. And now he'll be recognized for having hit 238 career home runs, major league home runs actually. And fun fact, he actually became a pro by accident. According to his Hall of Fame page, when Homestead Grays catcher Buck Ewing injured his hand, Gibson was invited to replace him because his Titanic home runs were already well known in Pittsburgh. And he surely could have hit a lot more home runs if he did play in the major leagues, but the fact that he's being acknowledged as a major leaguer now is something that I have to apply to Rob Manfred for. As much as I've never wanted to apply Rob Manfred, this is something that I definitely will applaud him for. And hey, don't get me wrong, I'm really not a fan of him, but this is where credit is definitely due. Well done. Now on to Buck Leonard, who's been described to be as smooth of a first baseman as he's ever seen, according to booking agent Eddie Gottlieb, or I don't know how you say his name, but that's who it's according to, and he was a career 320 hitter. He was actually offered a major league contract in 1952, 5 years after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, but unfortunately he turned it down because he figured he was getting too old. But man, he's a guy that definitely should have had a chance to play in the major leagues when he was young, because he would have torn it up. Now, Oscar Charleston, who according to Buck O'Neil was a tremendous left-handed hitter who could also bunt, steal 100 bases a year. Yeah, Ricky Henderson before Ricky Henderson. And also he could cover center field as well as anyone before him or since. He was like Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, and Tris Speaker rolled into one. Like, imagine that. Now, he had multiple seasons with an OPS over 1,000, and his best season came in 1925 when he hit 451 with a 522 on base percentage and an 826 slugging percentage. 826 slugging percentage. I mean, crazy that he hit way over 400, but and also an on-base percentage over 500, but the 826 slugging percentage, that is just out of this world. And that gave him an OPS over 1,378. Like, that makes Mike Trout look like a scrub. Like, how is Mike Trout and scrub going in the same sentence or even the same paragraph? But that's what it's making Mike Trout look like when you look at these numbers. It's just that insane. But now the number of games he played aren't shown, but they definitely didn't even play half of what a full major league season would be. But he did hit 20 home runs in the best season of his career that I just mentioned in 1925. Like, this dude was definitely a beast. The last guy I'm going to talk about that's now being acknowledged as a major leaguer, if there's any that I didn't mention that you're thinking of, please let me know in the comments. But the last guy I'm going to talk about is Judd Wilson. And he played in the NLB for 24 seasons and hit over 400 for 4 of those seasons. His lifetime average is 351. And Satchel Paige even called Judd Wilson to be one of the best hitters he's ever faced. And Judd Wilson, it was only 5'8", and yet he weighed 195 pounds. I'm like 6'2", and I weigh 180. Like, this guy's a lot shorter than me, but he weighed 195, so he was obviously like really huge. I mean, short in height, but like he was really brolic, obviously. Now, if Satchel Paige got to pitch in the major leagues when he was young, or if the other guys I mentioned, if they got to play in the major leagues at all, yeah, the history of the game surely would be a lot different. And now, I'm not gonna hold it against guys like Babe Ruth or Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Ted Williams, Honus Wagner, Ty Cobb, or Jamie Foxx, or any baseball legend that played before the color barrier was broken, because you can't control when you were born, and the guys who played before the color barrier were broken, their accomplishments still stand and they still hold plenty of weight. And in fact, Ted Williams was still dominating even after the color barrier was broken. So yeah, it definitely didn't affect him at all. So yeah, none of those guys would have been worse because those guys were coming in, but it definitely would have been a lot better for the game, and the amount of talent in the league definitely would have been a lot more widespread. Like, just imagine if these guys or anyone else that I missed actually got the opportunity to play in the major leagues, or if Satchel Paige got his opportunity when he was still young. Now there is one more guy, but this guy, you all know who he is, the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays. You know he spent most of his career in the major leagues and was a damn good player in the major leagues, but he actually played for the Birmingham Black Barons from 1948 to 1950. He does have one home run that was recorded, and I'm sure he hit more than that in that time frame. And this was after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. There were major league teams that were actually interested in him, but he had to wait until after he graduated from high school in order for them to sign him, and the Boston Braves and the Brooklyn Dodgers were both teams that were interested, but it was New York Giants scout Eddie Montague, or I don't know how you say his name, that signed him for $4,000. Yeah, just $4,000. But then the rest is history. Now his home run total actually might go up from 660 to 661, and I'm not sure about his hit total, but hey, it's still nice to know that these guys are getting the acknowledgement that they deserve. Now, because retired Major League Baseball players do get pensions, which are paid for, I'm pretty sure owners pay for them, and now I wonder if the MLB players' families will receive that. I mean, if they would, that would make this even better. I sure hope they do, and not just because Fuzzy said that. I genuinely believe that they deserve it. And while I was doing my research for this video, I came across a TV movie, Soul of the Game. I've actually never seen that movie before, but have you? If you have, let me know what you think about it. Do you recommend it or do you not recommend it? It came out in April of 1996, which is when I was just 2 years old. But anyways, that's it for now. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell button, and I will see you next time.